Welcome. I would like to take this opportunity to discuss vaping of mushrooms. I have created a blend of six species of mushrooms to vape with vaping devices from Lupu, such as the V-Mate 2, and the Argus Pod system. Uh, this is very, looks pretty cool, doesn't it? That's why I picked it. Well, here's the V-Mate 2. This is a social vaping device. It features a window that blocks UV light from breaking down the organic solution that's inside the vaping. This is 3 milliliters. These are 2 milliliters. Whereas 1.8 milliliters of vape juice is equivalent to a pack of cigarettes, and zero point zero 0.09 milliliters of vape juice is equivalent to a cigarette, essentially. But what I'm doing is smoking mushrooms, solely mushrooms. I've taken some time to develop this and research to read. So I have six papers, a paper for each species of mushroom. The first is Fomitopsis officinalis, which is a species of arboreal mushroom with promising biological and medicinal properties. That's the title of a paper presented by 8 people, and I can't pronounce their names, so I'm not even going to try. However, what I can do is I can read a little bit from it, probably most of it from it, to show you what I'm trying to get at. This is Agarikon. Agarikon is the Native Americans spoke of it as ghost bread. It is a medicinal mushroom, and it is arboreal mushroom, meaning that it has a sycophantic, is it? A symbiotic relationship with trees. It basically grows with the tree. Its mycelium incorporates itself into the tree's nutrient system. And as you know, mushrooms. Medicinal mushrooms of the order Polyporales have a long history of use, which is evidenced. This is evidenced by finding of dissected fruiting bodies with Otzi. Do you remember Otzi? He's the Iceman. He lived over 5,000 years ago. We have found his remains encased in the glacier in the Alps. But because of its valuable biological properties and its use in the 18th and 19th century pharmacy, this particular mushroom was cultivated, or rather um, mass collected. Moreover, the large demand for larch wood and non-wood materials, which is resin, caused an excessive exploitation of large forests, which directly contributed to the disappearance of this particular mushroom from Europe. But it's still here. I mean, we have kind of a bag of it. The qualities of medicinal preparations obtained from this are determined by the unique composition of its bioactive compounds, such as triterpenoids, polysaccharides, organic acids, coumarins, phenolic compounds. It has proved that both crude extracts and the compound isolated from this have a wide spectrum of therapeutic effects, including anti-inflammatory, cytotoxic, and antimicrobial effects. I have a cat, and she's going to knock stuff down because she wants attention. But that's okay. I'll grab her eventually and show you to her. All right, so what I'm working on is the aspect that the Agarikon has things like triterpenes. Well, all mushrooms have triterpenes. Um, when you bite into a mushroom, it fills your nasal cavity, your mouth, your whole head, and you know you've eaten the mushroom. You know, so that has that quality. So when you vape it, you bring that same full bodiness into the smoking experience, and it's quite nice. I would say it's my personal experience. So on the package, so you don't think I'm lying to you and making stuff up by reading off my iPad. Um, they're saying, and this is we're allowed to do this. It boosts immunity, reduce inflammation, breathe easier. And what's the last one? Long life. All right. So granted, packaging information is not as great as scientific information, such as of tri- triterpenoids, polysaccharides, organic acids, culminaries, and phenolic compounds. But my point with the Agarikon is its body. It has a distinct body. The second one I would like to bring to close is the chaga mushroom. It's a fungus, and everyone knows what chaga is from. We have chaga coffee. Chaga is very good. Chaga has been linked to the treatment for breast cancer. Anti-neural inflammatory polyoxygenated lanthanoids from chaga mushroom and Notus obliquus. Chaga mushroom was used as food and nutrient food and traditional herbs in Russia, China, and Japan. With anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer activities, anti-cancer, chemical investigations of the fruiting bodies of chaga were carried to uncover the bioactive metabolites. As a result, 7 undescribed lanotype triterpenoids named ion and nanotusols HN were isolated, and lanthanoids remarked inhibited NO production and lipopolysaccharides stimulated BV2 microglial cells. Well, it goes on and on explaining that, but I wanted to get down to the point of this. According to the recent World Health Organization figure, cancer is the second most leading cause of mortality in the world and accounts for an estimated 9.6 million deaths in 2018. Most of the cancer deaths occur in developing or so-called low and middle income countries where access to modern medicines are not widely available. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is here's a supplement that has the capability of fighting cancer in a smokable form, mixed in my 6 blend. Um, it says here podophyllotoxin derivatives and vinta alkaloids, which is vinblastine and vincristine, are excellent examples for potential exploration of more novel anti-cancer agents from higher plants. Doxorubicon, dowomycin, mitomycin C, and bleomycin are good representative examples of anti-cancer agents explored from fungal sources, particularly Streptomyces chaga. So what we're saying is that as our pharmaceutical companies come up with cancer medications, we already have natural ability to work with it. Supplements to our diet. And this is a supplement to smoke. And everyone likes to smoke. What's liking to smoke than having something for that moment, that the momentary pause, that blow smoke in the face, that cloud of mystery, right? What better moment is there than to have a cigarette, to pause, to make a statement, a social statement. I love accoutrements, and a vape device is an accoutrement. We shouldn't ban vapes because of nicotine. Although we found that nicotine is beneficial to us, is beneficial to people who have underwent or inordinately extreme circumstance, what we call PTSD. And PTSD is not just shell shock. PTSD can come from many sources, and nicotine helps. But we're not talking about nicotine here. We're talking about just strictly vaping mushrooms. Vaping mushrooms in the extent of public spaces isn't going to cause anybody consternation, because what is it doing? It's giving you the benefit of health. There's no noxious fumes. There's no toxins. There's actually fighting off of toxins. This is a beneficial. But I digress. Let's go down to the next paper. Well, in addition to the nutritional value, medicinal mushrooms have emerged in recent years not only as a source of drugs, but also as adjuvants to conventional chemo or radiation therapy to either enhance their potency or reduce their side effects. Well, I mean, look, anti-nauseous. Mushrooms give you the benefit of diabetes, or the benefit to fight against diabetes. Mushrooms give you a sense of being full, so you end up not overeating. It also gives you the sense of sleep, as mataki, for example. Wait 1 second. I'll be right back. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to go to the next one. The next mushroom I would like to bring to your attention is turkey tail, and that would be this one, turkey tail. Turkey tail mushroom is also called what? Triterpenes versicolor. It's called Triterpenes versicolor because if you look at the turkey tail, it looks like a fan coming off of all rotted wood. All over the world, this is. It has a multicolored, like a rainbow, essentially. It's a half disc sticking out of the side of a dead tree, and each of the rings of it, there's rings, and they're multicolored, and that's why it's called Triterpenes versicolor. The most common name in the Western world is turkey tail. If you look at a turkey tail, it has this multicolor, and it's spread out in a fan type formation. It includes the concentric multicolor zones in the upper side of the cap. It has no stalk. The fungus is common in temperate Asia, North America, and Europe, including the UK, where it has recorded in all regions. Its medicinal value as part of Chinese traditional medicine dates back for at least 2,000 years. It includes general health promoting effects, including endurance and longevity. So it has direct effects. This is something that we've known for 2,000 years. And hence it's included into my blend. Um, Preparations such dried powdered tea. The main components of this fungus is polysaccharides that have given the fungus its medicinal value in cancer therapy and are assessed by reviewing the chemistry, pharmacologic, and therapeutic potential in different levels. So my point is that my whole rationale of developing this and selecting these particular mushrooms is because of the damage done through smoking cigarettes. We all know that when our cells reproduce, they lose one. They lose a portion of their regenerative ability, meaning that eventually they're what is it called? Ah, my memory serves no good for me, so I must smoke more of. What's the next one? Next one is for memory. It's called lion's mane. Lion's mane, Agarikon and Agarikon, improves recognition memory and induces hippocampal and cerebellar neurogenesis during aging. So I'm getting old. I'm losing my memory, losing my line of thought, but this is going to help, or should help at least. The good thing about mushrooms is the effect is immediate, not like the pharmacy where you need to be taking it for 2 weeks before you start getting any signs of change. The mushrooms react immediately with the body. This paper was written by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 people. This is a nice paper. So frailty is a geriatric syndrome associated with both locomotor and cognitive decline, implicated in both poor quality of life and negative health outcomes. Oh, this is Cordyceps. Oops. This is lion's mane. Sorry. Cordyceps is next. Recent reports of European populations suggest that by 2060, 30% of all Europeans will be over the age of 65. Okay, as an entomopathogenic fungus, Cordyceps has been known to have numerous pharmacological and therapeutic implications, especially in terms of human health, making it a suitable candidate for ethnopharmacological use. Main constituent of the extract derived from the fungus comprised of the novel bio-metabolite called this cordycepin. It's its own name, cordycepin. Here's my cat. Her name is Margot. She's 2 years old, going to be 3 in April. Or she did 2 in April. Probably 2 in April. But she's in my way. But anyway, Cordyceps. Cordyceps is the mushroom that is interesting because it has a bacterium that is symbiotic with it. It actually is with it when it fruits. If you're not careful, it'll take it out. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance of its growth. But the reason why this bacterium is a codependent with cordyceps is that ants like to eat this bacterium. So it'll actually farm this particular bacterium. Now, because this bacterium is with the mushroom gets into the ant's shell and it grows out of the ant, making the ant climb to the tallest, or what they were saying is 20 centimeters above the ground, which is 8 inches. So it climbs up 20 centimeters and it blows out its spores. Once, the ant climbs up and then it dies, and then the cordyceps grows a stalk and it blows out its spores to the area where hopefully other ants are walking through it, and it'll pick it up and this cycle will begin again. Now it'll bring back. The cat is having fun with my stuff. I hope she doesn't break anything, because over there is where my contraption is. If you can see it right about there is the lower part of my extracting system. So that's Cordyceps. Cordyceps is good. What do they say? Oh, it's Cordycepin. It includes biological and pharmacological actions in immunological, hepatic, renal, cardiovascular systems, as well as anti-cancer agents. but hepatic, they utilize these things for viruses like herpes simplex. Um, there's some studies on that. I mean, medicinal mushrooms have been known for thousands of years to produce bio-metabolites, which are used to study as possible treatment for diseases. Over two-thirds of cancer-related deaths could be prevented or reduced by modifying our diet with mushrooms. Two-thirds. Here, I'm projecting, the advent of utilizing it as a vaping product. So you see people vaping; they're vaping for health. They're not vaping to be inconsiderate to you. This is the issue that vaping has caused. Everybody has started to say, "Well, they're just vaping. They're selling drugs to kids." As nicotine is a drug. Nicotine's nicotine's addictive quality is amazing. Now think about this. I've been smoking a mixture of nicotine and this for about 6 months, and then as of January, I went strictly to smoking mushrooms, and I haven't thought of nicotine since. Well, of course, I think about it because I would like to produce this concoction with nicotine and without nicotine, you know. But with nicotine requires licenses and etc., which I am not in the position to collect with. So, how much fun is this? And they go on and explain it. It is an entomopathogenic fungus having an annual appearance which often grows parasitically on Lepidopteran larvae and pupae of insects and spiders. It normally inhabits on the surface of insects' pupae in winters, and it leads to the formation of fruiting bodies in summers, justifying its name as winterworm summer grass. So it has a name of winterworm summer grass. How much fun is it? It's been in the Himalayas. It's called as Kirikos. It has been reported from the Sutol and Kanol villages of Kamoli, district of Uttarakhand. The ethno-pharmacological use of Cordyceps sinensis has been reported from western Nepal for cure of different diseases like diarrhea, headache, cough, rheumatism, liver disease, etc. This herb is also referred to as Himalaya Viagra or Himalayan gold due to its broad clinical and commercial value. Cordyceps requires a specific set of conditions for its growth and has a small size, hence the large-scale collection of this mushroom is a daunting task. Therefore, people with an age group of 15 to 65 years, including men, women, young boys, and girls, are the main collectors of this fungus, and price for 1 kilogram of wild collected mushroom on the market in Nepal varies from 30,000 to 60,000 Nepali rupees, while in India it costs about rupees 100,000. Past 5 years have seen tremendous exploitation of cordyceps, which has significantly reduced its wild occurrence. Efforts have been made to artificially cultivate it. Well, see, this is the issue. Everybody's been trying to get this mushroom to do its bug thing. But why does it do its bug thing? It does its bug thing because of the bacteria that grows with it. When you isolate the fungus spore and grow it in an agar solution, you come up with this bacteria. Now, most of the time when you're working with the mushrooms at that level, you want to clear the bacterium from it. And chances are, if you have a clean workspace, you're not going to get bacterium. So when they do see this bacterium, people are freaking out. But it's part of the symbiotic relationship. It's part of the mushroom, not necessarily. It's kind of like us. We have in our mitochondria DNA a bacterium for humans. So the same, essentially, not essentially, but basically the same thing. So if you think about it, the reason why we're having trouble cultivating this in an enclosed environment is because we keep getting rid of the bacteria. rather than utilizing it as a process of its growth. Now, granted, I tried it and the bacterium took over first, so I didn't do it correctly, apparently. But chances. But there are people who have made it successful enough for me to have gotten a solution of it. But the reality of this particular mushroom is it does have a bacterium that grows with it. And the reason why is because the ants like to eat the bacterium, and which proliferates the fungus again and again and again. It's a give and take thing. So if you take the bacterium out, the bugs aren't going to eat it. Bugs aren't going to eat the mushroom; they're going to eat the bacterium. All right. So getting back to this, the last one on my grouping list is tiger milk. Now, if you notice, each of these bottles are different sizes. The bag, I get a big bag of it. It's the most expensive part of this whole is this thing, and then the most expensive mushroom is this one. Although this is pretty expensive, cordyceps. What was my point? My point is this is I get 1/3 of the amount of fruiting body for the same price as the rest of these. This is a different thing. I can get a chunk of this for $285. A chunk of this mushroom, and they shave it off. It's interesting price, but that's not my point. My point is tiger milk. Tiger milk. The story is that between the grass plain and the meadow, where tigers hang out, they walk through the grass. So a tiger is looking at the zebra, for example, through the grass, and the zebra walks by. It disappears, reappears, disappears, reappears because of the way the grass and the stripes coincide. So it kind of freaks it out, and it's got to walk out to find its prey. And when it walks out, the zebra knows it's there, and it takes off. But that's not my point. My point is when it's hanging out, dusk and dawn, on the edge of the grass, its kits are milking. And what they said about tiger milk, the reason why it's called tiger milk, is that they noticed that when they look again, the tiger's no longer there. And as dawn breaks, the rest of the way, they see this mushroom. So they assumed that the dripping of the milk created this mushroom, which is not the case, but it sounds good. I mean, the only reason why you're looking at the grass is because it's a tiger. And of course, it stripes. If it's in the grass, you don't see it. Comes out the grass, you might see it. And you notice this mushroom later. Now, all the mushrooms are pretty much a analog to our organs in our body. We have an analog to our brain, which would be this guy. Where is it? Did I lose it already? Oh no. It is Chaga, Cordyceps, lion's mane. Okay, lion's mane is analog to our brain, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And tiger's milk is an analog to our lungs. The interesting thing about tiger's milk, it breathes. Mushrooms breathe, of course. So you can stress tiger's milk mushroom with a carcinogenic atmosphere, and it will strengthen itself to survive from this carcinogenic atmosphere, thus bringing more alkaloids and substrates to it as a lung because it's breathing. And we take the supplement, and it helps our pulmonary system. All these together, as you, I don't know if I read the right things to help you understand what I'm trying to get at with repairing our smoking issue. We smoked for years with cigarettes. Smoking for years with this would help repair the issue. And this being the primary repair mushroom. For a long time, by indigenous communities, Southeast Asia regions as traditional medicine for different ailments, including respiratory disorders. The beneficial effects of tiger smoke mushroom has been proven through in vivo and in vitro models.